What's really interesting about Minyi, she, as far as I know, is the only indigo dyer in Singapore. She's really unique in this country.
I'm always very impressed by her passion for what she does.
Indigo is the only dye that you don't see the blue. You have to ferment them, you have to put them through a chemical process to release the blue because it's in the molecules.
Dyeing alone, it's a really long process. It's difficult in terms of being one person because sometimes you have to boil 40 meters of fabric and that really takes a toll on you. I do all my sewing as well, so I always make sure that the quality is there because if it's something I don't want to wear, I'm not selling it.
I met Minyi through a friend who is also a weaver. I've always been interested in dyeing. I decided to take one of her classes.
I met Minyi from also a mutual friend. What does it feel like to make something with your own hands? We've become so industrialized that people are losing touch with how things are made.
I suppose Singapore is a very young country. It doesn't have as many of these crafts. It's really nice to see the movement growing here in Singapore. And I'm what I call a failed maker.
There's no failures, there's only learning experiences. If we had one stop, someone who dyes and someone who weaves, oh, I could try this and I could do a little of this. I mean, if we are going to be sustainable, we need people who have different skills. And with that, we might be able to keep this going.
From young, I like to draw. So from there, I found out that I quite like fashion and I felt mad. So why not? After my degree, I went to work, got burned out. I mean, it's sad to say, I mean, it's always about the bottom line, especially when you're working with companies which are mass-produced. I was dragging myself to work every day. I was crying before I go to work. And then I decided I would get out of the country for a while because there was a point in time where I wanted to quit fashion altogether. I would go back to study again. So it was between a textile school and my teacher, and I was like, hey, whoever replies me first. So it just so happens that Brian, who is my teacher, he replied me first. And I was like, all right, let's just drop everything and just go to Japan. Brian, he's from Canada. He's been staying in Japan for about 20 over years. He learned from the villages in Fujino and from a teacher in Hachioji. He's a get up and go guy, so he never ever stops. He keeps doing tons of workshops. You know, he just never stops. He told me, you know, come for a month. After that, you know, we'll see what happens. So it turns out that the both of us, we clicked really well. So it's on and off 3 visits within a span of, I would say, 2 years. I'm so lucky to have found a teacher who is so willing and so helpful to teach, to just give. And you know, when I came back, I just cried for weeks. I found out that I really liked natural dyeing, you know, shibori, and then the rest is history. I decided to come back and then to start a studio. I've been at this studio for about 2 years. It's really tiring at times, but I am happy with what I do, you know. Looking at how my teacher worked, I mean, it inspires me as well because I don't want to stop doing what I do because I really like it. I'm very lucky because this space is my dad's friend's and he decided to let me have this space rent-free for 2 years. 2 years is about up. So I'm about to move out soon. I don't have a place at the moment, but you know, we'll see what happens in the future. Even if the studio stops functioning, I would still be carrying on and practicing the craft on my own. Frankly speaking, I don't know what I would do if I didn't do textiles.